Miss Karina's a big dreamer, a metaphysician on a mission of inspiration and transformation, which led her to this manifestation. Miss Aruba Island Queen, Meta Lifestyle Magazine.
Hello, and welcome to the Meta Lifestyle Magazine, your source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles. And I have with me Nandini, and as you can see, we've changed our little setup for today, but that's okay.
Well, we're celebrating today, so cheers, everyone.
Cheers to you guys, and we'll be right back. You are watching the Meta Lifestyle Magazine show, the source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles with your host, Karina Felix. Log in to metalifestylemagazine.com and get access to articles, stories, and upcoming events to guide you on your journey. And welcome to the Meta Lifestyle Magazine. Today is our day that we have decided to celebrate, as you could see. Nandini, here's to us.
Here's to us.
I gotta say to us because exactly 3 months ago, I walked into this fabulous studio, and all I could think about was, how can I do this? I love this. I want this. What can I do to enhance, as part of the magazine, to take it to the next level where we go from, what do we call a flat 1D, 2D to 3D? And so here we are, and we had some fabulous people on this show since. So we were able to bring in people that were in the magazine. Of course, last week we were able to interview all of our features, and we've also been able to interview some of our writers and their articles and how they're impacting the world with their message or products, because we had like Inga that came with the what was it, the
allergy
kit. And so I want to say solutions to our everyday issues, and it could be anything, and we all are looking for different things at different times in our life. So I hope you enjoyed most of the series, and it's obviously never over, because with me it's never over.
We're just taking it to the next level. But I just want to just recap on some of the amazing guests that we had in the studio. Under the holistic umbrella, we had Gina Kearney from Herbs and Owls. She's a fabulous herbalist, so check her out, Herbs and Owls in Jupiter. And we had Dr. Love.
Dr. Love.
He's the Chinese medicine and natural forms of healing. He was very interesting and amazing information shared. We had Inga, as Karina just mentioned, with the allergy kit.
Oh, what about the gratitude fruit punch?
Oh, yes.
Vismaya
We had Vismaya
did
Rubin.
an excellent job with that, didn't she?
Gratitude fruit
If
punch,
you have
yes.
missed any of the episodes, they're still out there on YouTube. Please, and even on Facebook, go back and just look at them, because there was so much valuable information
for
that
sure.
each person brought to the table that helped us also expand, because I learned a lot in many of those episodes. So definitely go back and get back to that.
Yeah, and the ones that were really interesting were when we had the young entrepreneurs. We had two shows with the young entrepreneurs, and we worry sometimes, us older folk, we worry sometimes about the state of the world, what is going to happen. And when you speak to these young people, when you speak to these young entrepreneurs, it really eases your mind. You think, what? We're in good hands.
They're fine.
Yeah, they are good.
I have two of them in my house. Well, not in my house, but, And I had to learn firsthand what it's like to interact with millennials, and their mindset is so different because they, thank goodness, whatever we're still carrying with us from whatever, the depression and all of those 50s, 60s coming into this space, well, not even, it goes even further than that. It goes back to the 20s and all of that residual is kind of finishing up right now. So this new generation, so it's kind of ending with us. And because we kind of in between, I call us the transitional age group. Like we went from, there you go, my age, black and white TV to this.
Yes, absolutely.
Everything
Yeah.
here. And that's the most amazing part to me. So trying to reason with kids and the way it used to be. Well, even our parents got to say the way it used to be, because my mom tells me stories of where they used to listen to the radio. They didn't even have TV. And imagine them before them. So it's about us to accept them for who they are, and for the technology has allowed them to come back with what we did not. We have to learn technology as it evolved. So we're constantly switching and adjusting. They showed up, it's there. That's their life. They don't know anything else.
Anything
so we
different.
cannot expect them to live any other way. This is their life. That's their phone. They figure out that it's not just for play, it's for work, it's for growth, it's for learning. They have figured it out. If it's for business, I mean, they just figure it out.
One thing that I find with this younger generation is that I think with our generation and previous generations, we've been very conditioned. And that conditioning still happens, but I just think that this generation now, the one that we're talking about, they are less susceptible to that conditioning. They truly have their own minds.
They are, and this is where there's a lot of push and pull right here, because again, it's all depending to the parents, at what mindset the parents are. So we still have the parents that want the status quo. Go to school, get a degree, get a good job. You're going to do for the next 50 years of your life. Get married, have the kids, a white picket fence, blah, 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 blah. And the kids are saying, no way, look at you. You're not the example of what I want to follow, which is
Exactly.
true. We cannot, kids don't learn from what we say. They learn from what they see. They mimic us. So if there's anything you want them to accomplish, you better be the one accomplishing it first. It's got to start with you, because it's not what you say. And we grew up in that household. Kids need to be seen and not heard and be quiet and just follow the rules. And then we spend our whole life trying to please our parents. God forgive us. But anyway.
Yeah, but you're right. The kids now, they recognize that, they have to forge their own path. We had one of the guys in the studio, and he was saying, what?
Yes.
Your generation is the last generation that was able to unionize. Your
Right.
generation is the last generation that could think about a pension at the end of your working life. These things are not available to us, so we have to see things very, very differently.
Yes.
And, they're not seeing the gig economy as something that holds them back. It was just amazing to see these talented, bright individuals saying, this is going to make me. I am going to use this to do good things in my life,
And I've written of this topic many times, because obviously I'm very attached and very committed to that age group, obviously because of my own kids. And what I was just saying earlier before the show start was I was able to create my life around my kids, because I kind of wanted to be a stay-at-home mom without really being a stay-at-home mom. So I was able to create all my work, all my passion around the kids, so that I was still available to them. So, of course, I started out with, a dance studio. Where do you think they're going to take dance? With mommy. And I became the dance teacher at school. So all day they see me. We went to school together. We came home together. I was beyond a helicopter mom. I'm what they call now a drone mom. I'm like hovering a little bit too low here. But then there's a moment when they come into their own. And the hand goes up. And they say, boundaries, mom. Back off. And it's like, oops, okay, it's time for me to back off. So pretty much around 18, 19, I had to tell them, this was a great journey. Thank you so much for the lesson. Because to me, it was a lesson for me, not just in parenting, but on my own personal development. I truly believe that as souls, we chose our parents. We choose our parents because we're here to evolve and what I call enhance and expand humanity and Christ consciousness. So on that note, I had to figure out how can I fit all of this in. So I chose my parents. So I had to go through what did I learn from them? What did I get out of that? And then when I thought I had figured it all out, I had kids. And they become the other side of my knowledge. They became another part of my challenge. And what I realized is whatever was not resolved with my parent relationship, my kids brought it back to me for me to resolve now as a parent myself. So it was an amazing learning journey for me. But at like 18, 19, I said, I've done it all. I've given you shelter, I've given you education, I've given you home and food and love and affection and all of that fun stuff. You're on your own now. And with that, I mean, I am there to be their
Well, you're always there for them, their support.
I'm always there. I'm the
Yes.
cheerleader, of course. I'm the cheerleader. But now I don't jump in as the drone mom that I used to be. Now I ask. If they come to me with any issue, there's only two questions. Do you need me to get involved or not? I love getting involved. I'm not going to say no. But if they say, no, I got it, I'm like, all righty. I'm here. I'm here if you need me. So I had to learn to step back. And many parents don't know when it's
How
time
to
to
do
step
that,
back.
yes.
And these kids are amazing. And there's so much stuff about the millennials. They're lazy. They're this. I beg to differ. I'm telling you, these kids are clever. They're smart. They already figure it out. They're all business-minded. They're focused. They already know what they want. It's just that they're going to do it their way, not our way. And we want them to do it our way. Cannot be. We live in a different world. We live, I mean, just the fact that technology is evolving so fast, and they get it, and they're on it. We're the transitional generation, so we're still catching up each time. We're catching up. They're already in it. They're just zooming by with that. Isn't that amazing? You know, and I want to segue on that story that we had this weekend, and a girlfriend of mine in Philadelphia. She is taking in short period for a month or so the kids that were left at the border and are still figuring out how they're going to get into the country or even just get back with their family. They're kind of lost. And we were having this conversation, the four of us, the three of us, and she's doing that. And Nandini here writes children's book with a conscious direction for understanding nature and healing and self-healing health and stuff like that. And we came to the most amazing, I think is the most amazing idea that came out of this. Go ahead. I'm going to let you take it over from here.
It's just a way because remember these children, there's a language barrier. They're separated from their families. They're really scared and alone. And what heals us the most? It's nature. Nature heals us the most. And, if you have a story that you can share with children, of course, like reading bedtime stories or just reading at any time of the day with children is so beneficial for them. And when children feel abandoned like that, I think, of course I'm biased, but I think if you speak to them about the natural world, that is very healing in itself. So we came up with this idea.
And it's also very inclusive because we all get to experience nature in exactly the same way.
Exactly.
Like no one has any extra difference.
Mm-hmm. And so we came up with this idea of being able to provide these children with this book. If you have listened to the past episodes of this TV show, you would have heard me speaking about my children's book, which is based on a device that's called The Music of the Plants. So it's not just a story, it's introducing children to something that's very real. This device that connects you with nature, with the music in nature. And I think A lot of people say that when we are very young, as children, we have this natural connection, and that gets conditioned out of us. Some of us may be able to remember being able to speak to the nature spirits and stuff like that, even seeing nature spirits. There are some people who say they've had this experience and they remember it, but most of us are conditioned out of that. We are told that is fairy tale, that is not real. Go to school now and learn about the real world. So I think it's a fabulous idea. I hope it's something that we are successful with, to be able to get the funding, to be able to share this message and other valuable messages with these children who really need a lot of attention and a lot of love before they are reunited with their families here in America.
You know, and it's the sad part is for them, this is going to be a very traumatic part of their life experience, the sense of abandonment. But the interesting thing is many of us have abandonment issues.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been abandoned in one way or the other. And abandonment isn't always about being separated from someone. Sometimes it's just being disconnected, people not listening to you, not paying attention, not giving you, any, just acknowledging who you are as a person. That also could feel like abandonment, and that takes off, in some very, very weird places. But anyway, before we go on, we're going to take a very short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We are plant blind, oblivious to the plant world that provides the very oxygen we breathe. Our destruction of the natural world is a direct consequence of our plant blindness. If you are part of the shift of living in harmony with the natural world, the music of the plants device is a necessary tool for your business. Learn more at nandimotp.org.
Are you a small business owner ready for exponential growth? I am Karina Felix, and I invite you to join the Meta Lifestyle Society for exclusive access to a multimedia, marketing, and PR platform that gets you the results you are seeking. Collaborate with other business owners, share expertise, and cross-promote with others to reach a larger audience nationally and internationally. Join the Meta Lifestyle Society and become a member. You are watching the Meta Lifestyle Magazine show, the source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles, with your host, Karina Felix. Send us your listings of upcoming events, summits, and performances, and we'll share it with our audience and community members right here in the show and in the magazine. Hi, and welcome back. And we have a caller online, and I'm very excited to hear. Are we ready? Can you hear us? Hello?
I guess you can't hear me. I don't know what to do about that.
We can hear you.
I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Oh, hello. Yes, I can. Congratulations.
Thank you. And we have Miss Nancy Matthews online. This Miss Nancy Matthews, who was on the first cover of our magazine. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, and I am so grateful for what you have created and brought out into the space with your show, your magazine, and all you're doing for Meta Lifestyle. Yay!
Yay! As you can see, maybe you're not seeing, but we're having a little celebration with our champagne here, and I'm not going to tell you what this lady is drinking. But yes, so thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you for the years that I've known you, for the coaching and mentoring you've done over the years, and definitely a testimonial to part of not only me being here, but so many other people that I've met over the years since I moved to Florida has come through WPN, Women's Prosperity Network. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
I would just like to
You are
say,
welcome.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, Nancy, that it was such a delight interviewing you for the very first cover feature of the magazine. And what gives me real delight is seeing women, paving the way for other women to succeed in life. We discussed it on, one of the last shows that we did where, you're actually working with your sisters. So it's a family thing. You've created Women's Prosperity Network to help lift other women up in life. It's such a beautiful thing that you're doing. And I just wanted to say thank you again, for agreeing to be our very first cover feature. And thank you again for the valuable work that you're doing.
You are most welcome. And I must tell you, Nandini, that interview was phenomenal, and how you wrote the story and brought it out and shared my story. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. Like, you did such a good job.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I would hope so because, I am a writer by profession. So I would hope that it was a good job. But it's very, very nice to hear you say that. Thank you very much.
Thank you
You're
so much,
welcome.
Nancy.
Well, best of success.
Thank you again. Thanks for coming on and just celebrating with us today. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Cheers to you. I'm raising a glass of water. I don't have the champagne with you, but cheers.
Cheers, Nancy.
Cheers. Bye, Nancy. And again, if you have not seen any of our covers, and we have 3 issues out already, just go to MetaLifestyleMagazine.com, and it's filled with articles and information, and it's just a wealth of information. And we are going now to introduce our guest, who's actually here in the studio with us, Miss Caroline. Step right up and join us here at the table. Can we have them fix the camera so we can see Caroline? I guess somebody's going to come and fix her. There, got a camera all fixed. I love cameras and I love technology. And we love Josh so much.
We also have Lynn on the line, too.
Lynn is waiting to talk to us? Okay. He's going to wait for us a moment, or should we switch over to him really fast? Let's switch to Lynn really fast. Is he ready? As soon as he's ready, let me know. In the meantime, Caroline, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. Hi, my name is Caroline Marina. I am a transformational coach and inner peace guide. And basically what I do is my own journey of healing and growth, like Karina talks about. And I share it with other people I did a podcast last year, and I'm in kind of a hiatus right now, figuring out what my next moves are, but within the next month. I'm going to bring out some more things, but I can't really discuss those yet because I don't even know what they are, to be honest with you.
Well, you know what? That's how Source works. Source
Exactly,
says,
yeah.
you know what does it say? Don't make plans because God is going to laugh at you.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
we just go with the flow, don't we?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing, going with the flow.
Good. So I know you at one point, Caroline and I go way back also. She initially started out as my vice president of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce for West Palm Beach. We did 2 amazing open houses that attracted a huge crowd. We had over 80 people that
Huge,
showed up
yeah, that
both
was
times,
great.
showing us that there was an interest in the holistic community to come together and share information, share knowledge, share wisdom. So that was great. But then I know you went and did something with, were you driving cross country or am I mistaken about this?
There's a gap there, so
Okay, there's a big gap. but
there's a
that's
big
okay.
gap. But I did do
I was
that.
following that, the journey. You were doing a journey with, were you driving somewhere?
I was driving. Well, initially, when we stopped working together, I was kind of going through my own healing process. So I stepped back completely. I isolated and went through my own life, things, as most of us do,
Yes.
or all of us do.
We all
Rephrase
do.
that. And then in April of 21, that's when I left the area, and I pretty much kind of secluded myself in Central Florida and started this process and learned a lot. And I feel like that was the most terrifying thing I'd ever done in my life because I didn't know any. Because I isolated myself, I didn't really want anybody to be around to support me, and I had plenty of dark nights of the soul and working through, working through, and then finally in November of 21, I started a podcast called The Ride of My Life, because that's what this is.
Right.
So from that, I did it for a couple of months, and then I was listening to Source and kind of processing and figuring out exactly what I was going to do next. And so basically what happened was I ended up coming back to Florida, kind of regrouping. And then in February of 22, I went out on the road and continued to do my podcast
So when you
from
said
the road.
on your road, you were driving from city to city?
I was driving. I went from Florida to West Virginia, back to Florida, to North Carolina, Kentucky. I have to think my way through this. Oklahoma, and then Colorado. And then I headed back basically in the same direction, but I went to a couple of different cities
Were you
from there.
going to see people, or were you just driving through? Were you stopping and interviewing people, or you were just sharing your journey, your feelings, your change, your transformation?
Well, I kind of did both. So when I first started in February in West Virginia, that was more of a a month-long healing session with like a retreat with a friend of mine who's a healer. And that's where it began. That's where I started releasing and growing and recognizing things that I'd been doing that I needed changing in my life, and And then there was an in-between stage where I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I had to come back to Florida. And the rest of the time I would drive, I would talk to people, I did my videos, I put them up on YouTube, and I shared my experiences as I went. I went to a beautiful retreat. I wish I could remember the name of the place, but it was north of what's that really popular central in North Carolina? Why am I blanking out? I don't know. It's like a eclectic town in North Carolina, big city. Yeah. Anyway, so I went to a retreat there, and I felt peace. I felt so much peace after I was done with that. I didn't talk to anybody. I walked in the woods, back to nature, like you were saying, 100%. It clears out all that static, and it really helped to heal, the things that were, because I had like PTSD. Well, I have PTSD, but it cleared out the nervous system. It helped to regenerate my soul, basically. And from that point, I landed in Colorado with a friend of mine who's a counselor who I happened to interview on my podcast. And she and I did work together. And that's when things started shifting on my way as I was coming back here. And I finally came back in September, and things really started falling in, coming out. It's like, how it
You got to go through
the roller coaster ride. Yeah,
It is
yeah.
a roller coaster, but it's a great ride.
Yes, yeah, and that's what I want to say. It's been beautiful and healing and challenging all at the same time. But
When we can step away and stop stressing about reaching, arriving, the goal, when we stop all of that, take all of that away, and once you know that it doesn't matter what your goal is, the truth is the goal is really your ego goal. It's not your spiritual goal. It's two different things. So when you go after your ego goal, you're on the wrong path because you lose yourself. There's too much resistance. It becomes difficult. It's hard. But when you follow your spiritual goal, they tell you where to go, when to go, how to go. They put the right people, the right circumstance, the right opportunity. It just starts falling. You're just going, no way, no way. How did that happen? No way. How, right? Have we not? I mean, we've been going through that in the last 3 months that we've been together. Like everything
Absolutely.
just fell into place. No effort, no effort. People show up.
well, you showed back up.
I always show up.
The story of how you
Oh my good. Okay, go ahead.
Oh
Share the
my
story.
God,
Go
oh my
ahead.
God.
share
So
the
I'll
story.
just start. I also drive for Uber and Lyft, and
Okay,
Nandini.
I'm gonna drink to this story.
it's just amazing. Okay,
you
I
tell
will.
outside.
It's just interesting how life goes, and the people who keep coming back into your life, and the people who show up in your life. I first met Karina several years ago when she was working with the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and Karina held this event at our local Whole Foods where she just invited people to come and get together, entrepreneurs to come and share, what they do, just to get to know each other, a networking event. So I remember seeing Karina there, and I remembered that she had somebody working with her, but I couldn't remember who that was. And then Karina confirmed to me that it was Caroline after I recently met Caroline again. So, and then with Karina, she was also in another networking group that I was part of called the Holistic Health Connection.
Up in Jupiter.
Yeah, and unbeknownst to both of us, we were both pursuing the same degree with the same university, the University of Metaphysics, and we were pursuing a master's
Arizona.
in metaphysics, and we were doing this online. And so we're both at the graduation ceremony, and there I'm seeing Karina in front of me having her photograph taken as I'm waiting to have my photograph taken. And we started chatting. I said to her, I know you. And we started chatting. So, like I saw her all those years before. Then she comes to, again in the networking group I was in, as chance would have it, we were doing the same degree with the same university. And so then, unfortunately, over the past 3 years, it's been very, very difficult. My husband had, serious health concerns, and with lots of doctor's appointments. And I've been ferrying him around as much as I can. But sometimes, with work and everything else, I need to order an Uber or a Lyft, just as a help. So one day I'm debating, okay, should I stop what I'm doing and take him to his appointment, or should I just order a Lyft? And something just said to me, today, order a Lyft. So which I did. So, Caroline starts chatting with this passenger who happens to be my husband. And, so she's talking about her life journey and stuff. And my husband says to her, well, my wife is a writer, and it would be good for you all to have a conversation. So he comes home and he tells me about this Lyft driver, and how he recommended, that she speaks to me, and he gave me her number. And then a few days after that, he says to me, did you ring Caroline? And I said, oh, you know what? I didn't. Let me call her now. So I call Caroline and I say to her, my husband, you drove my husband to his appointment, and, he said, you'd probably be a good referral for me, so that's why I'm calling. And she goes and she tells me this story about how, I don't know, how did you figure out that I was connected with Karina? How did you figure that out?
Well, I started getting these messages sent to me through, I think it was either LinkedIn or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I received a message, and it had nothing to do with the Meta Lifestyle magazine. It was just a Meta something. And it just popped in, and it reminded me of you. And you had reached out at one point, and I was working on getting back with you and not getting, going through my thing. And then I remembered this whole thing with you, because there was another thing that came up about the plant.
Mm-hmm. The music of the
Yeah,
plants.
because another passenger I had was talking about that, and it just, I really don't know what happened. It just looped back around. I reached out to her, and then I know.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
we ended up having lunch together.
Yeah, well,
No, but I think what happened was that somehow, I mean, she's not remembering right now exactly how it happened, but Caroline realized that, okay, this Nandini that this passenger told her about is actually the Nandini who's working with Karina. So then when I'm finally speaking with Caroline, Caroline says to me, you won't believe this. This is just divine intervention, because the person that you're working with, Karina, I used to work with her, you know, all these years ago and stuff, and I wanted to get back in touch, and I want to really find out what you guys are doing with the magazine and the, you know, everything that you're doing, and it's like, wow.
Well, Karina actually reached out to me on LinkedIn. That's what happened, and she had your name on there.
Right.
And when I looked it up, and I was like, there can't be another
Same
Nandini. There's
person.
no way. That's where
Same
that. Yeah,
person.
same
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are.
This is how things happen. This is how the universe conspire to make things happen.
And it's not immediate gratification either because of how long it took. And now here we
no.
are, and it's like,
but
wait,
you know what? It's okay because you had to go on your own journey.
That's right.
You had
Yeah.
to figure things out. We all had moments. We all been. I mean, if we go from that moment and figure out what happened in those years, we've all had moments.
That's yes,
Lots
for
of
sure.
moments.
Yes.
A lot of
for
a lot
sure.
of growth, definitely.
A lot of
you know,
growth,
as you were just
a lot
sharing,
of ups
Caroline,
and downs,
and
a lot of heartaches, and a lot of, euphoria, a lot of just everything. But that's what we call life. There's no way. I think if we were happy all the time, we'd probably be bored out of our
we will be
minds.
bored, and there will be no growth.
But at the same time, we don't want to be sad and upset all the time either. So we want to have a little bit of that excitement, because that excitement, that adrenaline rush, we kind of like that adrenaline rush, that burst of energy. It's
But
a
that's what
good
brings us
feeling.
peace. That's the whole
It
thing. It's the work.
is.
It's the adrenaline. It's the
It is.
balance. It's
But there's
the
a good
centering.
adrenaline and there's a bad adrenaline.
Yeah,
So make sure
yeah.
you always have the
The
good,
good
adrenaline. So we're going to actually take another break. But I think there was someone online. Do we still have someone online? Okay, so who do we have online, and can we get them ready? Oh, I'd love, yes. He's been, yes. So we, hello, Lynn, are you on?
I am. Hello.
Yay! We miss you. I know you wanted to come so bad, and I know, as you heard from us, we're all going through transformation and growth, and there's sometimes we just need downtime. I call it my hibernation time. And my friends, they know it. When Karina goes in hibernation, don't call her. I might be gone for a month, a week or two, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong. Just sometimes I need down quiet time. So I know that's what you're having, Lynn. But thank you so much for calling in. Tell us what's going on.
Well, I wanted to congratulate you on 3 great months of your show.
Thank
It's been
you.
so much fun watching both you and Nandini, get your feet wet in this whole world, and you've evolved in your show, you've evolved personally, and it's just really been a joy to watch that.
Thank you so much. And I got you to thank for that. You brought me here for the first time, and I sat right here on this white couch right here next to me. And it was such a great show. I love the interaction. I love how laid back it was. I love, of course, the space itself, the energy that's in here, and the amount of people I've met in just walking in through those doors each and every time. It's just an amazing. And I definitely will be bringing in Dawn and Freddie in a bit, because I have to introduce them to why this place creates magic, because that's what it does.
Absolutely.
Right? And I know you
Yeah.
have your
So
show.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the next step is for you. And, there's no telling, because there's a whole world of creativity in there, and in both of you. And we'll get to watch what the next phase of evolution is.
Thank you so much. And that's so true. We as we grow, new ideas, new issues come up for us. And like I said, as long as you're connected with Source, they're always communicating with you. And there's certain things our soul came here to learn. And when it's that time, they tell you, okay, it's time. You have to do this now. So right now, that's what's calling. there's something coming up here, right?
Yes, absolutely. But Lynn, before you go, I just wanted to say thank you very much for appearing on a couple of our shows. Thank you for having me, for featuring me on your own show, which is all about featuring authors and helping people through that publishing process, the editing process, and getting their message out into the world. Thank you for the work that you and your co-host Louise are doing. And thank you very much for calling in today to share this milestone with us.
Oh, absolutely. And again, congratulations to you both. And I'm sure it won't be long before the next layer of magic reveals itself.
Excellent. Thank you so much for calling in, Lynn. And
All right.
we wishing
Thank
you
you.
all the best. Love you. Bye. And do we have someone else online waiting for us? Okay. We're going to take a little commercial break and we will be right back. But in the meantime, thank you so much, Caroline, for coming and joining us today. That was excellent. And thank you, Nandini. You're always such a great co-host. My goodness, you helped me just move right into there. Be right back. See you soon. Are you a small business owner ready for exponential growth? I am Karina Felix, and I invite you to join the Meta Lifestyle Society for exclusive access to a multimedia, marketing, and PR platform that gets you the results you are seeking. Collaborate with other business owners, share expertise, and cross-promote with others to reach a larger audience nationally and internationally. Join the Meta Lifestyle Society and become a member. The Phoenix Studio, an educational platform for small business owners sharing their intellectual property. We educate the physical, spiritual, and mental faculties of our students. We offer everything you require in order to succeed in business and in life. Our teachers are experts in their field, equipped to offer lifestyle skills, confidence, and clear directions for you to live your best life. Join the Phoenix Studio at studio.metalifestylemagazine.com. You are watching the Meta Lifestyle Magazine Show, the source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles, with your host, Karina Felix. We invite you to become a Meta Lifestyle Society member and enjoy the additional perks we offer. Welcome back to the Meta Lifestyle Magazine, your source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles. So, as we were just saying earlier, I was invited to come to a show with I think it was my first issue, and Lynn, who was right who called in just earlier, is one of my writers in the magazine, and he wrote this amazing article about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and he wanted to talk to in this show called the Brooklyn Cafe Show, which is based in Boca Raton, and they have their own studio. And I came here to support Lynn, and we talked about the magazine and his article, and it was the first time I came here to the Brooklyn Cafe Show, and I got a chance to meet Dawn and Freddie, and we're going to shift over and welcome. Well, I'm not really welcoming you guys because I'm welcoming myself into your space because this is your space. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for this space. Thank you for what I have been able to just grow from this experience and the people I've met here. And it's just, and of course, your crew is like amazing. Thank you guys so much. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Oh my gosh, it has been our pleasure. Well, the Brooklyn Cafe Show is one of the shows that we get to produce that Freddie and I host. But Ant Media Productions is the production house in which all of the other shows, including Meta Lifestyle Magazine and the Editor's Desk and all of the other shows that we do, fall under the production umbrella. And we get the privilege of watching you grow and change and bring your vision and ideas to life. I think this is the 5th show we've done today. Mm-hmm. I think we got one more to go.
Absolutely.
My eyes are going like this.
Well, it's more than just production. It has to do with what you bring forward and how much we've learned on your show and all the aspects and the pieces that you bring and how the house sort of sits together. And I loved that you're opening the show on the other side of the building. I loved also the fact that you have phone calls. There's a lot of moving parts on your show when you do the dancing and everything else. And the funny thing is that we introduced you to come in and do this, and you ended up taking us to school because we had to keep up with all the different changes you threw at us, which is really, it's really what production is about. It's about the human characteristic of what you bring, how you bring it, what you want to do with it. And it's just been an unbelievable learning experience for us.
I had a lot of fun. Of course, it doesn't help that I grew up on the stage, and I love just putting shows together. I've like I said, I think I was 6 years old when I stepped on stage for the first time, and I remember the kids around me being nervous and listening to kids crying, and all I could think of, are you kidding? We're going to be on stage soon. And getting on stage and the lights and the sound, and I know my parents are there and the curtain open, and I did a first performance, and I thought, oh my goodness, I am loving this a lot.
I
Fast
have
forward.
to ask you, what about creating a show around your magazine have you loved the most? What have you learned the most?
What I've learned the most about creating a show around the magazine, people have so much to say, and I don't want to put it between brave and not brave, but more like some people, they're so confident, and they would say, I got a message, and they can step right out and tell the message. Then we have the ones who says, it's not important enough. No one wants to listen to me because I'm not important. And we were able to bring some people in who thought they were not important and realize your message is important to someone. We all are a different time in our growth, in our life journey, and at any given moment, we need exactly what someone is offering to us at that moment. So we're not putting it out there. Where are they going to get that information? And yes, there's lots of information out there, but we all relate to something specific. Sometimes it's someone's name or someone's face or someone's whatever that is. We're kind of all seeing the same story, but we only connect with certain people. That's why all of us have to say the same story, even though they might like your version better than mine. And that's okay, because we're all here on the same journey, right?
Well, what I love what you guys do is you're the print, and Andini, you write, and Karina, you're the creative, and you dance, and you sing. So you've got all of those pieces, and then we just get the pleasure of turning on the cameras and the lights and bringing your vision to life is what we get to, actually what our crew gets to do. We sit back and we watch. We just make sure it falls into place. But we've never done it their way. We've done it visual to print. We've never done it the reverse.
That's because you've created a new element. You know, talk radio, which is what we do all day, is talk radio. Separating talk radio from entertainment talk radio, it's a huge leap. And and I'll be the first one to admit it, we've made mistakes getting there because we've had to learn the new way of doing things. Entertainment, which is what you do, dancing, the singers, everything else, entertainment is really where talk radio is going. So you've actually voyaged out to getting us in the right direction, and you didn't even know it because in your world, entertainment is entertainment. Talk radio entertainment is a new phenomenon. And that's one of the things that I had to sort of tip my hat and say, you've taught us to get on that path.
Where have we ever seen a singing plant before?
That's just one of many things.
Yeah, I remember Freddie going, what? That plant is singing? No way.
The camera angles to you dancing, all of these aspects. I know that people at home watch a show and they go, oh, okay, woo. But it's how to capture it so that you can say, listen, you did the best you could at capturing it. So again, you took us to another level of making entertainment and talk radio sort of combine and to put it on the air. And it's not an easy thing to do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I received that, wow, a million ways over. Wow. Oof. I don't even know how to follow up with that.
No, I just
No.
would like to say thank you very
Yes,
much to
definitely
Dawn
thank
and
you.
Freddie and the fabulous interns that you have here for just having this very welcoming, magical place for people to bring their dreams into reality. Thank you very much.
It has been our absolute pleasure to help you with season 1 of Meta Lifestyle Magazine show, and
Exactly.
I'm hoping it's only a short hiatus before we head back into season 2.
So yes, so we are taking a little break. I wish I might have to do a show just on showing you what happens behind the screen, because people don't understand how many moving parts there is right now. How many people are here? How many cameras are in here? How much is there's other rooms with other people in there, monitoring everything from the lighting, the camera, the sound. There is so much moving parts just for us to do this show. People trying to call in, people zooming in. There is so much happening. This is not your regular podcast. I just want to make that really clear. This is not a podcast. This is an honest, true TV show. So on that, we are going to take a little break, a little commercial, and we'll be right back.
The Phoenix Studio, an educational platform for small business owners sharing their intellectual property. We educate the physical, spiritual, and mental faculties of our students. We offer everything you require in order to succeed in business and in life. Our teachers are experts in their field, equipped to offer lifestyle skills, confidence, and clear directions for you to live your best life. Join the Phoenix Studio at studio.metalifestylemagazine.com. Are you a small business owner ready for exponential growth? I am Karina Felix, and I invite you to join the Meta Lifestyle Society for exclusive access to a multimedia, marketing, and PR platform that gets you the results you are seeking. Collaborate with other business owners, share expertise, and cross-promote with others to reach a larger audience nationally and internationally. Join the Meta Lifestyle Society and become a member.
You are watching the Meta Lifestyle Magazine show, the source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles with your host, Karina Felix. Send us your listings of upcoming events, summits, and performances, and we'll share it with our audience and community members right here in the show and in the magazine. Hello, hello, and we're coming to the end of our show. But before we leave, I have someone very important I have to bring on, because not only does she means a lot to me, but she, if you have heard last week's show, how she went out of her way to create that opening number, my little jingle. Do we have Candy Barodi ready to be streamed in? We're in Candy's world. Pretty girl, how are you? Can we hear you? All right, can we hear her? We're not hearing her.
Candy, we're not hearing you.
Hold on one moment.
We can hear you
There
now.
you are.
I'm here.
Ciao, Bella.
I'm
Come
here.
stai?
Sta bene, va bene. I want to just start by saying it is a privilege and an honor, as always, to be on your show. Thank you very much. What I would like to come on and say today is I've known Karina for 21 years, since our children were just little babies. And Karina has a commitment that is just written throughout the cells of her being, and it exudes out into her auric field all around her, that she's here to have fun. Karina's here to have fun. She is a nonstop locomotive of ideas and big creations that she wishes to accomplish in this one lifetime. And I can be in a conversation with her for 5 minutes, and she started 6 businesses in those 5 minutes, and has the costumes, the production, the staff, the music. They're not doing this right. I can do this. And this is how it is being in Karina's world. And I want to say that could never have chosen a better playmate. And anytime I think about my life in the last 21 years, and I need to have some time with someone who understands what it's like to have a childlike enthusiasm about life, I knock on Karina's door and say, can Karina come out to play? because Candy wants to play too, and that's where we create
And
from.
Karina is always ready to play.
Karina wants to play, Candy wants to play, and we also go very deep into the playground. We go deep into the playground, and we're able to play in the dark. We're able to play in the light, and we can create so much beauty and magic from those places. And we are in a place now in our lives where we are now moving into this phase of our lives where our children are grown up, and it's our turn to get back on stage. In my whole
Yes,
life,
yes.
knowing Karina has always been putting others on stage. That was her role. And as a teacher at the time, she was stepping back from her light and making sure that others would shine while she was holding space for her family, her children, so she could stand still while they all moved around beautifully around her. And her and I have that same principle about being there for our children. What I also want to say is that while Karina was putting on all these shows, you can only imagine from what she's created here, what she created on stage with children. She has touched hundreds and hundreds of lives, if not thousands of lives, with her light, her dedication, her vision, her creations. And she has done all the pre-paving work for everything she is about to do. She is not a person who is lazy. She is self-taught, self-motivated. The answer is always, can you do this, Karina? The answer is always yes, and then she figures out how she's going to get it done.
Candy says, every time I call Candy and I said, oh, I got an idea, she goes, oh, you found a second in your life to put something else in there?
Yeah, and I am the lucky recipient of all the creative genius that flows through her, because that is your genius. That is your higher self. Feels safe around me, feels non-judged around me, and we have that beautiful kismet energy. Yeah. What I want to do today is I want to shine the light on Karina. Let's just take a minute here. Look what you've done, girlfriend. Like, holy, you know what I mean? Look what you've done now. You actually had a vision. You created this show, and you created it as you were going along, nights and nights of getting ready for the next show, knowing that you didn't know all the answers, but they were going to come to you as you just put one step in front of the other. The road would appear. And that's how we create. We create through love. We create through faith. We don't have to know all the answers. As long as we have faith and we know what we're doing. I'm grateful to be a part of Karina's life. Nandini, I wish to thank you and acknowledge you, that there is no accident, that you are with this person. You are meant to be together. You are the yin yang. And
Thank you.
I acknowledge you, Nandini. I look forward to meeting you and working with you in the future. And my girlfriend, Karina, you are such a bright light in this world. And we are just so grateful. And I can't wait to watch you as you continue to soar and shine your beautiful light into this world, because I know everything you create is full of magic and wonder. And I love you.
Love you too, Candy girl. And I
Thank you for
appreciate
allowing
you.
me to write that
And thank you for
song.
being my shoulder to cry on, and my ears to vent to, and my creative idea planner. And you always go along, and you never put me down, and you always cheer me on. You're one of my biggest cheerleaders, and thank you for the role you have chosen to be in my life, being part of my spirit family. I love you.
This is Soul Sister right there.
Oof. Well,
This is Soul
here's to you, Miss Candy, Nandini,
Here's to you, Miss Karina. Here's to you, Miss Nandini.
Freddie,
Lots of love.
Dawn, all my staff back here. Not my staff, their staff, but anyway, during the show, they're my staff. And Caroline, thank you so much for coming in today. And Miss Girl,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Karina.
It was
I've
definitely
enjoyed this
worth.
journey. Thank you.
And with me, it's never done. You'll see me soon. And thank you for tuning in. That was the Meta Lifestyle Magazine, your source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles.
Each week, our guests have a free gift or giveaway for you in appreciation for tuning into our broadcast. Claim your gift at metalifestylemagazine.com/gifts. Thank you for watching the Meta Lifestyle Magazine show. the source for enhancing, impacting, and transforming lifestyles.
Miss Karina's a big dreamer, a metaphysician on a mission of inspiration and transformation, which led her to this manifestation. Miss Aruba Island Queen, Meta Lifestyle Magazine.